Hey there guys, this week's video is going to be a comparison of sitting and standing at a desk because I got a sit-stand desk and I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. I was going to do a review of the desk itself, but it is kind of an off-brand desk and I couldn't really find an online link for it since I found it actually in a TJ Maxx on sale for a ridiculous discount, so it was a great deal there, but I can't really find the desk anywhere else. So I figured I would just do a video kind of comparing sit-stand, and you guys can find desks that are very similar to it on Amazon, and you'll be able to find pretty much identical desks there. I just couldn't find the exact one, so I didn't want to call it a review because I don't really have a brand name to give you because it was actually the display model, but it's working great for me. And I'm going to share my thoughts on sitting versus standing while you're working to inform you guys so that you can make a good decision if you're looking into a sit-stand desk or another type of solution for your workspace. So first I'd like to talk about some of the pros and cons of sitting. These might be self-apparent since most of us do this at work or school or whatever you're doing where you're having to work. Most of us sit while we do that. And the first kind of con to sitting, I think, is that it's really easy to kind of slack off. You just sit back and you don't really feel like doing much. If you're relaxed, you're not going to get quite as much done. Sitting is also a lot easier to do than standing. So if you're going to be working for a long period of time, you're probably going to want to sit because standing is going to become pretty uncomfortable. Sitting also kind of limits your mobility because you have to get up to go get things. So that can kind of be a drawback if you're having to move around and do things around the office or something like that. Also, a lot of people don't necessarily have the best sitting posture, so it can be kind of hard on their back and on really their entire body having to sit for long periods of time just because they don't have that posture developed to sit for long periods of time. There are chairs that you can buy that are more ergonomic and will help you with that, but overall, if you're not going to be sitting for a long period of time, I think standing is a better option. Now let's talk about some pros and cons of standing. I think standing really keeps you more productive because you can't just sit down and relax. You're standing and you kind of have this urge to get your work done so that you can like sit down and relax, because while you're standing, you're just kind of in a work mode almost, or at least that's the way it is for me. And I feel like I do get work done a lot faster whenever I do that. I'm more productive and more efficient with my time if I'm standing because I'm just trying to work, get things done, and I'm not just kind of sitting back and kind of poking around at whatever assignment or whatever I'm working on. Standing is also pretty good if you are having to look at files. I know I like to lay things out on my bed a lot if I need to look through multiple papers. So if I have my desk in a standing position, I can walk over there, type, write, do whatever, then I can go back over to my bed, review files, and see what information I need, go back to my desk, and continue working from there. So it kind of helps me if I'm in kind of like an active working mode where I'm going to want to be moving around. And I can do that easily just by setting my desk to the standing position. Now, of course, if I'm going through a multi-hour edit of a video, whether it's for this channel or for just something else, a personal project, something like that, project for a friend, I don't really want to stand through all that. I might do some setup and I might switch back and forth between sitting and standing. Whenever I'm just kind of watching through the video looking for things, I don't want to stand there and do that. However, if I'm doing like animation editing or just color grading, something where I'm going to be a little bit more active and thinking more, I might want to stand for that. So most of the time when I'm editing though, I'm going to want to be sitting just so that I can be a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more chill and kind of get into my zone. Whereas standing kind of detracts from that, at least in certain parts of the editing process. Another good use for a standing desk is kind of as a workbench. I think everybody will agree that whenever you're sitting down to work on something, a lot of times it's just kind of awkward because, especially if you're working with electronics like I do, if you're, let's say, soldering or just plugging wires in or doing something with electronics, computer, phone, it's nice to be able to kind of move around and get different angles on things as you're working it if you're replacing a screen or something. So having that standing capability helps there so that you're not kind of having to roll your chair around to get different angles and different views on things. So as a workbench, having that standing capability really does help because you can have kind of a normal desk and then raise it up to be your workbench whenever you need to work on something. So overall, I can't really say that I have a preference for whenever I'm working on something, whether I want to be sitting or standing. It just kind of depends. And really, overall, in general, I just kind of like changing things up. It's nice to just kind of sit there and work for a while, and then I'm like, oh, I'm getting tired of this, so I'm going to go ahead and stand up and just change things up, get a different perspective, and get more productive. So if you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like on it. If you like the content on this channel in general, go ahead and subscribe. And if you guys have advice for future content that I can make, leave that down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video.